In this episode of the AI for CySec training series, we're going to be talking about all of the AI tools that you can use without having any knowledge of coding. And I do understand that there are many more tools than the list that I'm going to be sharing with you today. However, these are the ones that are more relevant to us in the cybersecurity realm because this channel is centered around cybersecurity. My name is Hank Hackerson, your trainer for today. And if you want to get more videos like this one, make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out on this channel. So this is going to be a pretty quick video, honestly, because it's not that complicated to just be like, here's a bunch of tools that you can use without coding. So the last video that we talked about machine learning, how machine learning actually learns, or how machines learn, or how AI learns. That's probably a better way to talk about it. And we're going to be skipping all of the coding right now. We are going to be talking about coding in future episodes. So if you're interested in coding AI and all of that, we'll definitely get to it. But for now, I just want you to know that there's a list of tools that you can use today without knowing anything about coding. And really, it all depends on what it is that you're most interested in doing, that you'll find a tool for it. For our specific purposes, because we're talking about cybersecurity and hacking and pen testing, all that stuff, everything that I'm going to share is more related and geared towards those specific topics. But you can literally just go to Google and type in AI tool for, and then fill in the blank, and then you'll find some kind of an AI tool already on the market that you can use without having any knowledge of coding. So here's a quick little example. We like pictures, we like stories, and variety of analogies to make these things stick. So picture this: you click a link and an AI browser extension screams phishing alert, saving you from a scam. That's the power of no-code AI, things like AI extensions. And it's not just for tech wizards, right? Obviously, because I'm not a tech wizard, just so you know. I think I have diligence and I have good work ethic, but I'm definitely not a wizard. So by the end, you'll set up a tool for yourself. By the end of this video, you're going to set up a tool for yourself to learn to spot reliable ones. And of course, be ready for the Python adventures that are going to begin in episode 4, which is the next episode. So I'm really excited about it, and I hope you are too. And if you want access to all of the Python scripts we're going to develop and all of the downloadables and everything else that's available inside of this training series, I urge you to consider Hackaholics Anonymous. If you want access to my notes and exclusive downloads and to get lifetime access to me on Discord, consider joining Hackaholics Anonymous. We have 4 tiers. We have the supporter, the agent, the guardian, and the master. Each tier gets their own Discord server and early access to content. The agent, guardian, and master levels get exclusive content, exclusive downloads, monthly Python automations, live streams with me every single month, plus so much more. And to join, you can simply click the link in the description below, and you will be able to choose the tier for which you want to join. I really hope I see you in the Discord chats. If not, I hope I see you in the comment section. All right, the very first series of tools, and again, this is such a small list. I do have a PDF file at the very end of this that we're going to review, and we're going to look at all of the tools on that list. However, this is very minute, and even the list of tools that are available inside of that PDF file are still very minute because there's just so many tools that are constantly coming out. As I'm recording this, I'm pretty sure somebody's developing another tool that they're going to make public. So there's a lot of stuff. This is no way to say that this is the extensive list. No code AI in this context of this conversation means platforms that anybody can use. You can point click, right? Point and click and drag and drop, and that's basically it. So these tools are built for speed, accessibility, and power, especially in cybersecurity, which is what we're going to be talking about on this channel, what we've constantly been talking about. So let's explore these 3 categories. We have cloud platforms, right here. We have cloud platforms, we have browser extensions, and we have chatbots. So no fluff, no jargon, just practical stuff. So first up, we have Google's Vertex AI. Now this is like the Swiss Army knife for AI. You can upload data, you can get insights, no coding required. Again, just no coding. You're just going to see that a lot. For cybersecurity, it's a great tool for analyzing logs or predicting threats. The setup is literally to just sign in to your Google Cloud account, which is free. There's a free tier that's available for it. This is actually a part of Google Cloud. I should say that this is separate from Google Gemini. And Google Gemini also has the ability for you to attach logs or attach files, I should say, to your conversation, and it'll analyze those files for you. So it's very, very powerful to use Google Gemini, but Google Vertex AI is a part of Google Cloud, and it's also extremely powerful. And then once you've logged into Google Cloud, you can upload a sample log and link powerful traffic data, for example. And Vertex AI can classify it as normal or suspicious. And this is specific to cybersecurity, the cybersecurity context, right? The pros of this is that it's easy. It has an easy interface, very user-friendly. It's scalable for professionals. And the cons is that the free tier has limits. So when we say free tier, that means there's a paid tier, right? And the setup can actually take a few more clicks, more than an average number of clicks, we should say. Accessibility is that it's free to start, browser-based, no installation required. The next one is our AI browser extension. So this is an extensive list of extensions. There's a lot of extensions on this list of extensions. Tools like WebRoot or Norton's Safe Web add AI smarts to Chrome or Firefox. They can scan URLs in real time, flag phishing sites before you can even click on them. Imagine browsing and seeing a red alert pop up. AI's got your back. That's basically what this does, right? So the pro is that it's plug and play, no setup hassle. It's an extension, literally. The cons are that there are subscriptions that are needed for some of the features to be able to get full features for the web extension itself. Accessibility is that there are free versions and they work on pretty much any browser. And finally, we have chatbots. Chatbots have revolutionized the world of technology for the average internet user, and Grok is a really good example of it. ChatGPT is the very first example that really came out and popularized these various tools. There's Google's Gemini, there's Meta's AI, there's Claude from the Anthropic, I want to say. There are so many of them. There are so many of these tools, and the emergence of these tools brought along with them generative AI, meaning you can actually type a prompt and images are generated or videos are generated. And it's just a really, really crazy time to be alive right now because these things can do so many things for us. And if you're smart enough, you're using them. And if you're super smart, you learn how to train them and how to integrate them, which is what the purpose of this entire training series is. So Grok, for example, is available on x.com. You could do x.com/AI, or you could do the Grok app, or you can go to grok.com. There's a lot of different ways to access it. And it answers questions like, is this log entry a threat? In plain English, right? It'll just explain it to you. It's like having a cyber expert on speed dial, or really any kind of expert on speed dial, because GPT and Grok and all these different things, they're so smart on so many different topics. It just so happens that we talk about cybersecurity, but they could, I've attached leasing contracts and I've attached different types of contracts to GPT and Grok, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a specific entry on this. Is there a clause in this contract that does X, Y, and Z? And it'll tell me where it is and whether or not it covers everything that I'm looking for. It's amazing. It's like having a paralegal that's on hand that can scan through a document in less than 10 seconds. It's really, really crazy. So you can use these tools for a variety of different things. The pros of Grok are that there's a free tier, it's instant, and the cons would be there are limited quotas without subscription. Accessibility is that web or mobile, no tech skills needed. And it's the same thing with all of the other ones, GPT, Google Gemini. I think Meta AI is literally the only one that I was able to use that has not limited me on the number of responses that I can generate. So Meta AI, so far, based on my usage, has been open source. But all of these other ones, they limit you on the number of responses that you can generate from it. And then after that, you would have to go into like one of the paid tiers that are available. So this is the entry for us to AI. If you've never used AI before, then ChatGPT and Grok should be the first tools that you end up using. Meta AI, Google Gemini, these should be the first tools that you end up using, just so you can wrap your head around how freaking amazing these things are. They're extremely fast. They are secure as far as I can tell, although I know that there are a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there's like a group of people, a specialized group of people that pen test these AI tools to try to find vulnerabilities either in their source code or just in prompt engineering. But for the average person, they are very secure. I wouldn't put your social security number in it, right? I wouldn't put certain information in it that's sensitive. But as far as just if you want to kind of brainstorm ideas and a variety of other stuff, I would say that they are very, very secure. And they are super beginner friendly. It's like chatting with just another person through a chat window, and very, very easy to use. So how do these things shine in cybersecurity? So let's actually try this out. Let's see what it works. We're going to look at two tools. There's going to be the Webroot Web Threat Shield, and there are a lot of different versions of this kind of a tool. And then we're going to obviously talk about Grok. So let's look at the Web Threat Shield real quick. So this is what it looks like. If you just Google, Webroot Web Threat Shield is what I Googled. You'll get the Chrome Web Store link immediately if you're using Chrome. Probably the same thing if you're using Firefox. You can try to find it in a lot of different ways. They also have their own documentation available, their own link through their website for docs.webroot.com. So it's not really hard to access. This is something that you can easily find. Now, I will say that this is not a highly ranked application or browser extension. So, I'm not saying that this is like the be all and end all for this kind of tool. I just want you to see one of the more popular tools. So this one has over 3 million users, right? And it's a browser extension. And as you can see right here, pretty much for the most part, it can look at the links that are generated, and it can tell you whether or not it feels like they contain malware or they are security risks that you have to worry about. For example, if you're doing a search for 51.la, which no idea what the hell that is, but I think they already knew that this website is malicious. So if you do a search for a website that you think is malicious and you have this thing downloaded, then you can go ahead and from the Google search results, by the way, you don't even need to go into the website itself. Just from the Google search results, you can more likely find out whether or not this website is malicious. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use it. If you actually click on the website and it's on the list of websites that have been proven to be malicious, then you'll get blocked access to it. It's very similar to what happens inside of an enterprise environment where certain URLs have been blocked because they have been known to have malware or spyware or adware, any of those things. And so this is just another one of these web applications that kind of does that for you for your home computer. You can configure the settings. You can do a lot of really neat little things. And of course, they also have an API key that you can use to make sure that all of your information is protected and your interactions are protected as well. So it's a very, very useful little tool. Let me know what you think of it if you actually download it and use it. I already know that there are at least 2 or 3 people that are always testing all of these tools that I recommend just so they can see what it's like and how these things work. And I would be very curious to see if you actually do download it. So let me know which browser you downloaded it for and what your experience was like with this specific tool. Now, the next one that we're going to be visiting is Grok. And Grok is just one of these tools, man. It's just a really freaking cool tool that you can use to go ahead, and it's definitely not Grok AI because we just went to GoDaddy here. So if we go to x.com/Grok, there you go. I think that's what it is. So x.com/Grok. And again, this is also not it because this is taking us to the Twitter page of Grok. Why can I not find this thing? So XAI Grok. Let's just do that as a search. And so it's x.ai, my bad. It's x.ai. And then you get access to Grok. I feel so silly right now. I mean, like, come on, bro. Okay, so cool. So this is basically what it looks like, right? You can actually log in and you would get access to more things. But even just from this, we can go over here and we can just take one of our little notes right here. So we can do something like this, right? Analyze this. And then we can paste that in here. It's like analyze this log entry, right? And then I'll just do that and then I'll press enter. And then it's going to say, okay, this says what? right? Very, very easy to use. This is not a complicated thing to use. And it gives you like a, look at this, like it gives you an amazing breakdown. And there's notification, so we're just going to turn that off real quick. So basically, it'll give you a breakdown of the entry itself. So the field is the event, and it's an unusual login, right? Triggered by anomaly detection, for example, time-based rules in this case. This is the IP address that is trying to access us. The timestamp of it, so it's 3 a.m. So is it 3 a.m. in a local environment, like in your city? If it is, this is off hours. This deviates from typical user patterns because most likely people in your local area are asleep. And if it's not somebody in your local area, that means that they're in a different time zone, which means that they're not local to you, which means that there's an issue with this. So the severity of this would be ranked as a high severity because this is not saying attempted login or failed login. This is saying this was actually completed. It's an unusual login. So somebody actually got into the system, which means that this is a high severity. So the anomaly trigger is the time of the day because it's at 3 a.m. and that's unusual for most environments. For example, business hours are 9 to 5, right? Bankers' hours. Possible legitimate causes. It could be a user in a different time zone, fine. But if they are, then they should be logging through a VPN or they should be logging through a computer that at least has its MAC address or some kind of login that has been pre-approved, right? They shouldn't be doing this randomly from a different country at 3 a.m., which would end up setting off our alerts. It could be a scheduled automation or a script that's running in the morning. That could be a thing, right? It's running outside of business hours because it needs to do, the cron job stands for chronological job. Which is essentially a scheduled job inside of Linux environments, Unix environments. So it could be something that's like, doing a backup at 3 a.m. or something, or an update at 3 a.m. Or it could be somebody who's an insomniac or somebody who is a night shift user, a graveyard shift user. Those could all be possibilities why this could be a legitimate cause. However, it could also be malicious. So it could be a brute force attack or a credential stuffing attack during low activity hours because attackers can exploit reduced monitoring because we're not going to be monitoring during the lower hours. We're going to be really actively monitoring in peak hours, right? Evidence is that 70% of all breaches occur outside business hours. This is based on a report from Verizon in 2024. And then we have further analysis on the IP address. So this is a local IP address. Usually, if it starts with a 192, it's a local IP address, and it's a private IP address, I should say. That's what I mean to say it's a private IP address. So 192, typically 192.168, is an assigned via some kind of a DHCP dynamic host control protocol to devices like laptops, phones that are on the same router or Wi-Fi. So it's private. That's one of the key things that we can think about is that it's a private IP address, which implies that there's some kind of an end user on the other side of this. It's not external because it's not a direct internet attack, and it must originate from inside of your network. So it could be somebody that is an inside actor, right? The risk profile is that it's a legit user potentially, so there's a high likelihood that that's it. And if it is a legit user, then it's a low-level threat. If it's a compromised device, which is a medium likelihood, it's a high-level threat because the device has been compromised. If there's a rogue insider, an employee or a family member that's trying to do something maliciously and they work for the company, which is also a medium likelihood, it could potentially have medium effects. And if it's a Wi-Fi intruder, there's a low likelihood, but it has high threat level effects. So these are all issues. And the final indicator could be that it's a geographic or internet service provider, which is undeterminable because it's a private IP. So you can check router logs for the MAC address that would be connected to it to see what kind of router is connected. And so this is our overall threat assessment. The risk factor could be anything from 1 to 10. The risk factor category. This is the risk factor that we have, and we have the score from 1 to 10, and then we have the justification. So risk factor of time, the score is 9 because it's outside of the normal hours. The IP address is private, and that's the score of 5. It could be internal, which is an insider threat, and because it's not a perimeter breach because it's one of the internal IP addresses. The uniqueness is an 8 because it's unusual, implying deviation from the actual baseline first 3 a.m. login, right? So the average between all of these would end up being a 7.3, which is you need to elevate this, investigate it immediately and try to figure out what's going on. If you get anything that is an unusual login flag, for more often than not, you need to go ahead and analyze it. And then there's remediated or recommended actions, long-term prevention. So this is what we got from just simply putting 2 lines of a prompt inside of Grok saying, analyze this log, and then we gave it this thing. Now you can literally attach a file to this. You can actually go down here. There's a little attachment button. Now you do have to log in to be able to do this, but you can actually attach a log file to this and have it analyze the log file to try to give you more data. So it's just very interesting what can be done using a free tool like a chat bot. So this is just something that I want you to kind of experiment with yourself, right? Try it at home with either a sample log or some kind of a question that you have, and just share your results in the comment section or in our Hackaholics Anonymous Discord so we can have conversations around it. It's very, very easy to do. If you've never done this, literally takes less than 2 minutes. You saw how quickly it was for me to be able to do it, and then you are technically considered an AI user. If you've never done it, like I can't imagine that somebody's watching this episode of this training series and you've never used AI. But in the unlikely event that you are that person and you've never used AI before, then please go ahead and do it and let me know what your first experience was like. And of course, if you used it before, I still want you to go ahead and do it and let me know what you used as your prompt and what the response was. So as a wrap up, this was just very quick. We did not go through dozens of tools. I will share with you the file that I have right now. I forgot to delete the answers for these questions right here. So more likely than not, you'll have the answer to this anyways. These weren't very difficult. So the one thing that I do want to share with you is the PDF guide and the extensions pack that's available to our Hackaholics Anonymous member area, just to kind of give you a sneak peek to what these things actually look like and what you can get access to should you choose to join Hackaholics Anonymous. So inside of our AI for cybersecurity folder, which is available to our agents and above members, as you can see right here, we have episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and then it's just going to keep going like that as well. And so for each episode, whatever the downloads are, I'm going to be uploading into it like so. And so we have the 12 free no-code AI tools, for example, Google Vertex and WebRoot and then Grok and then Lumen and then Zapier. Zapier is a really big one. It's actually a really cool tool for automation of tasks. There's the Norton Safe Web Teachable Machine, which we already talked about. Cuckoo Sandbox, Have I Been Pwned? Another really big AI tool that's very security intensive, or useful for security, I should say. IBM Security QRadar, Warden AI, and then there is just one last one as well. And so that's the 12, and then we have the AI browser extensions, which is a shorter list, but again, these are just useful tools that are available to you. And then if you find anything that is also useful for people in the cybersecurity world or something like that to use, then I would appreciate it if you shared it in the comment section below. These downloads can go from a small level of complexity, which is what you see right here in front of you, which is why I didn't really mind sharing this one, but there's the ones that are on episode 2, for example, which is the Google Cloud or Google Collab, excuse me. There's a Google Collab creation that I did, and then there's a quick guide for forking and sharing your ML notebook. And so the Google Collab breakdown has a bunch of code in it that you can actually run as an example, just so you can see what it's like. So if I click on run on this, it'll actually run it and it'll import all the things that we need for the rest of this conversation. And then this is just a version of this that I've already ran. So if I go and increase the sample size, for example, or the noise size, it can go ahead and modify some of this for us so that we can get some really interesting results out of this. So there we go. This is what it looks like when you run it and it generates these things for you. And I should probably like reset this because I was saying these are the results that I had from the last time that I actually ran it. But essentially, you can do a lot with this these Google Collab documents. They're called notebooks. There are the variables that are available that you can actually mess around with and modify. There's a terminal that you can access, so you can actually run it as if you're using it inside of a terminal. Very, very cool tool. But this was pre-written. It was pre-established for you just so you can see what it's like to run these commands and what it's like to run these source codes, so you can get the response from them. For example, the number of episodes and the number of learning and what happens as a result of that when you mess around with these kinds of things. So this is just another one of the things that are available for Hackaholics Anonymous members, among all of the downloads for the CompTIA stuff and everything else. So there's a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to beat a dead horse with this, because you can just watch a promo video to find out what all of those things are. If you want access to my notes and exclusive downloads and to get lifetime access to me on Discord, consider joining Hackaholics Anonymous. We have 4 tiers. We have the supporter, the agent, the guardian, and the master. Each tier gets their own Discord server and early access to content. The agent, guardian, and master levels get exclusive content, exclusive downloads, monthly Python automations, live streams with me every single month, plus so much more. And to join, you can simply click the link in the description below and you will be able to choose the tier for which you want to join. I really hope I see you in the Discord chats. If not, I hope I see you in the comment section. If you found value in this video and if you would like to get more videos like this one, I encourage you to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that video comes out on this channel, whether it has to do for AI with cybersecurity, whether it's for pen testing, security engineering, whatever it is. There's a bunch of stuff that's already on the channel. For example, 441 videos as it stands right now, and then there's going to be more by the time that you actually end up watching this video. And there's a lot of playlists that already exist, all the CompTIA stuff people have used to pass their examinations and to actually get jobs. The Linux Plus was something that somebody used to get a job at SpaceX. And there's a bunch of other stuff that's already available for our members only, as well as the members first access. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you heard that, but I'm terribly sorry about that. I've been drinking a lot of coffee. My sincerest apologies. That was very rude. Excuse me. But there's a lot of stuff. That's basically all I'm going to try to say. I'm super embarrassed right now. I don't know if you heard that, but I'm super embarrassed. So that's basically it, right? So you can find a bunch of stuff on the channel. If you have comments around this stuff, I can go ahead and I will always reply to your comments. But if you have requests for future content, I will go ahead and generate content based on the requests of the community. So I'm very attentive to our community, and I love our members in the Hackaholics Anonymous community. And they get priority for everything because they also get access to me directly on Discord and etc, etc, etc. So if you have not done so already, make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out on this channel. It's your boy Hank Hackers, and at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker / protector. If no one else loves you, Hank loves you. Love, peace, and chicken grease, and I will see you in the next video later.